A Hen for Izzy Pippik. Shayna perched on the porch with her eyes shut and listened. Mama's sewing machine chattered in the kitchen. Baby Pinkus banged on a pot. Grandpa whistled an old-time tune. In the market across the road, a nanny goat bleated. A truck puttered past. A cuckoo cooed from Mr. Fine's clock shop. Shayna wished she could still dust for Mr. Fine in his shop. She wished she could help the other merchants too. But people had little to spend these days. There were few shoppers in the market and fewer jobs to do. Times were tough. Suddenly, Shayna felt a pickety-peck on her toe. She jumped up and her eyes popped open. "Bark! It's a chicken!" she gasped. Shayna had never seen such a magnificent hen. She had emerald green feathers with gold speckles and a ruby red comb. "Where did you come from? Are you lost?" "Bark!" Shayna picked her up and smoothed her feathers. "Don't worry, little chicken. I'll find out where you live." The hen snuggled in her arms as Shayna raced across the road to the market. She showed the hen to every shopkeeper and peddler, but nobody had ever seen such a beautiful bird before. "I wish you could tell me where you belong," sighed Shayna. "Bok, bok, bok." Suddenly, she spotted two muddy tracks in the road. She followed them to a pothole. Beside it sat a broken wooden crate with a sign that read, "Izzy Pippik, Chickens and Eggs." Shayna grabbed the crate and raced home with the hen squawking behind her. Mama gasped. Pinkus gurgled. Grandpa smacked his lips. "Chicken soup?" he asked. "Fricassee," replied Mama. "We can't eat her," Shayna cried. "She belongs to Izzy Pippik." "Who's he?" Mama asked. Shayna pointed to his name on the crate. "It's his crate, so it's his chicken. I think she escaped when it fell off the truck." The hen fluttered onto her shoulder. "Mama, can I keep her until Izzy Pippik returns?" "Who says he's coming back, Shayna?" "He has to, Mama. She's so beautiful." Winking at Shayna, Grandpa took Mama's hand. "What's it going to hurt?" he asked. Mama sighed. "For a few days, maybe." Grandpa helped Shayna make a nest from the crate. She carefully set the hen inside. "I'll call you Yevka," she said. Grandpa grinned. "That's a pretty name, Shayna." Early the next morning, Yevka cackled loudly. The sleepy family shoved to the nest where a pearly egg glowed in the straw. "Scrambled?" asked Grandpa. "Poached," replied Mama. Baby Pinkus burped. "We can't eat this egg," Shayna frowned. "Why not?" Mama asked. "If it's Izzy Pippik's hen, then it's his egg too." "Eggs don't keep forever," muttered Grandpa. Shayna laughed. "Mr. Pippik will come before then." In a few weeks, 12 fuzzy chickens were peeping and pecking and poking about. They ate the baby's biscuits and spilled Grandpa's soup. They scratched Mama's stockings to pieces. They grew peskier by the day, and Mama's grumbles grew with them. Shayna, whispered Grandpa, Mr. Pippik had better hurry and come back. He won't be long, Grandpa. One morning, 2 young roosters began to squabble, and the whole flock joined in. Teacups crashed, saucers smashed, feathers filled the air. Mama stormed to the cupboard and snatched up a broom. This is not a hen house, she hollered. These birds have got to go. Please, Mama, Shayna begged. Let them stay. But Mama was in a foul mood. She raised her broom and she charged. Squawking chickens flew out the door and onto the road. The street sweeper gasped. The postman laughed. A bystander smacked his lips. Boiled? He asked. Baked, replied the postman. Catch them, the street sweeper cried. With hoots and hollers, the townsfolk poured into the market. They chased the birds under pushcarts, over crates, and all around the square. Leave them alone, shouted Shayna. You can't eat these chickens. With hot, hungry eyes, the people swarmed around. Why not? They howled. Shayna explained that they belonged to Izzy Pippik. You silly girl, they sneered. He's not coming back. Yes, he will, Shayna snapped. Grandpa pushed through the crowd and held her tight. This is how you treat an honest little girl? He thundered. Will it hurt to wait and see? The people blushed and lowered their eyes. One by one, they shuffled away. For now, the birds are safe, Grandpa murmured. But you're Izzy Pippik. He'd better come back soon. Shayna kissed his cheek. He will, Grandpa. But Izzy Pippik didn't come. As the months passed, Yevka's chicks grew and had chicks of their own. They grew up and they had chicks too. Before long, roosters crowed from the rooftops and hens roosted in every nook. Hundreds of chickens flapped about the square. They toppled trash cans. They fought for food and they cackled from morning till night. They grew rowdier by the day, and the people's grumbles grew with them. You're a hard-headed nuisance, Shayna, they hissed. Your Pippik will never come back. Yes, he will, she shouted. Still, he didn't come. Though other people did. By foot and by car, they trekked into town. Soon, curious sightseers rolled in by the busload to see the great flock. And each night they left with shopping bags bursting with socks, dishes, bagels, and more. Every shop in town was open and every shelf was full. With businesses booming, people forgot their anger, and Shayna found plenty of jobs again. One day, she was spreading ice in the fish shop. Your chickens make us so happy, the fish seller said. They're not mine, snapped Shayna. They belong to Izzy Pippik. You're always saying that, said the fish seller. Can't you see that they belong here? A curious crowd gathered. They moaned and muttered and started to chant, "We love them. We need them. We want them to stay." Over the hubbub, a truck horn blared. Auga! "Move aside," shouted the driver. "You're blocking the road." "Just who do you think you are?" someone yelled. The man pointed to the sign on his truck. "Maybe you can read for yourself." The people gasped. "It's Izzy Pippik." "He's home at last," cried Shayna. "Finally." She scooped up Yevka and raced to the truck. "I'm Shayna," she panted, thrusting the startled Berg into his hands. "My precious hen," Pippik cried. "You found her." "I kept her for you," Shayna declared, "and the others too." Izzy Pippik scratched his beard. "What others?" Shayna pointed to the enormous flock fluttering about the square. "Oh, but I only lost this hen," Izzy said. "These are her chicks, and her chicks' chicks, and her chicks' chicks' chicks, and their chicks' chicks," she explained. "If she's yours, then all these are yours." The hen struggled in Izzy Pippik's arms. "Yevka, you must go with him," Shayna whispered. The crowd began to howl. "Please don't take our chickens. They've brought us such good fortune." Izzy Pippik looked at the anxious people and the contented flock. He peered into Shayna's unshakable eyes. "All these birds are really mine?" he asked. "Yes, Mr. Pippik," Shayna beamed, and she lovingly stroked Yevka's feathers. Suddenly, he tossed the hen out of the truck window. "What are you doing, Mr. Pippik?" Shayna gasped. "I'm giving Yevka to you and her flock to the town." "But you can't." "If they're mine to have," he chuckled, "they're mine to give." Then Izzy Pippik blasted his horn. Ooga! With a warm-hearted wave, he puttered off through the cheering crowd. Shayna burst into tears. Grandpa rushed over and she buried her face in his coat. "You were right, Shayna," he murmured. "Izzy Pippik did come, but he didn't take his chickens," she sobbed. "Yes," he exclaimed. "Isn't it wonderful?" Shayna was shocked. "But they're his." "Are they, Shayna? Listen." Shayna closed her eyes. Roosters crowed. Children cheered. Hens cackled with glee. "Happy days are here again," the crowd merrily cried. Suddenly, Shayna felt a pickety-peck on her toe, and her eyes popped open. She gazed thoughtfully at her feathered friend as the merriment chimed in her ears. Suddenly, she burst out laughing. "Everyone knows it but me. You belong right here." "Bok!" The hen fluttered into her arms. "Welcome home, Yevka," she cooed. See you next time.